the podcast made by from an average Joe, and we're at it again, episode 2 of the series. Once again, along with me on this journey is my main man Mike B. Say what's up, Goat B.
What's going on, everybody?
We back again, man. Our last video, I'll have it down in the description below. We had 44 views. Check that out, man. But today, we're going to talk about a couple of issues going on in the sports world today. But the big one we're going to talk about is Deion Sanders closing in or leaving Jackson State to go to the University of Colorado and take over the Buffaloes. So, Mike B, man, what do you thought about that when you first heard about Coach Prime going to Colorado?
Hey man, that's big, bro. That's big, good for him, man. I'm surprised he left Jackson State, bro. The way he went in that program and what he did for them, bro. That's good, boy.
I mean, that's it's pretty amazing to see. You know, he was bound to get a Power Five job
Yeah,
eventually, but Colorado at all schools. I mean, Colorado has been a winning program since the late '90s, and he's going to a program that went 1-12 this year.
he was
So they only had one win this year, I believe. I don't think they won any games this year, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm gonna read you the article that Pete the Mail for ESPN posted on the app. Jackson State coach Deion Sanders has to prepare to take an exit in order to take the head coaching job at Colorado. Sources told ESPN Friday night. With Jackson State on the cusp of a SWAC title game Saturday, Sanders and his associates have spent the weekend making inquiries to both potential members of his on-field staff and support staff at Colorado. So right now, he's already getting his team together to go to his next new job already. So Coach Prime, sorry, has already been working to move on to Colorado. I mean, next year, FAMU should win the SWAC no problem now that Jackson State is out the
right.
picture.
Yeah,
So the only reason FAMU's not playing the SWAC title today is because Jackson State beat them head to head earlier on in the year. But FAMU wasn't at 100% either
they
when they
was.
played Jackson State. They had like 30 players out, but that's either here and there. A source told ESPN on Friday night that Sanders' outreach included a call to a prominent player in the NCAA transfer portal. We'll talk about the transfer portal in a few minutes, encouraging him to not make a decision because Sanders was headed to Colorado. He wanted to recruit there. A different source told a player committed to play Colorado earlier this week said a current Jackson State staff member called to check in on the player's Colorado commitment. He also asked him for film of the player to evaluate. Internally, they are pretty excited to see Coach Prime go to Colorado. Sanders said publicly he's been offered a Colorado job, and all signs point him to accepting the job within the next 2 days. As all other candidates, Colorado has engaged been stalled in the last few weeks. Deion Sanders has been 26-5 in 3 years at Colorado at Jackson State, including 22-2 in the last two seasons.
Mm,
Colorado fired coach Carl Duran after an 0-5 start. He was 8-15 in 3 years he was there at Colorado. And then the interim coach finished the year 1-6. So they finished 1-11 this year.
that's crazy.
So now Dion's leaving the SWAC. They're going to Power 5 football in the Pac 12. You're going to see Utah. You're going to see USC. You're going to see Oregon. You see Oregon State came on a good season. Washington State's still a good program. Washington's a good program. So you're going to see some heavy hitters in the Pac-12, and I think Dion gonna take his both his sons there, and then all the players that he brought from Jackson State probably go with him to Colorado because they believe the philosophy he built at Jackson State he'll carry on to the Power Five level. Now he gets to recruit with the big dogs. So now he probably recruit more from Florida now because he knows how to recruit. He's from Florida,
Yeah,
so he knows how to recruit. He's going to be in a competition with Lincoln Riley as probably one of the best recruiters in their conference. Um, I hope that Coach Prime does a great job in Colorado because they're overdue for some success. I
right.
hope Colorado within 5 years can compete for a playoff spot. Coach Prime has done it in 3 years. He turned Jackson State from a bottom feeder in the SWAC to an undefeated season for the first time in school history. So I'm pretty excited to see what Coach Prime is going to do next going to Colorado. I hope the best for him. Of course, it's probably his last game. Of course, against Southern in the SWAC title game. It's a lot going on, in that program. A lot of people are hurt. A lot of people are happy that he gets to a Power Five job that he's definitely deserving to get because of the program turnaround he did at Jackson State. A
Yeah,
lot of people are mad at him leaving because he said earlier this week in an interview that he wasn't leaving. He has some unfinished business here, but it's college football is a business, and you gotta understand now that he has to do what's best for business. So if he has a Power Five job offering him probably more money than Jackson State was offering him, he's gonna take it. And Colorado is probably the most intriguing job when it comes to turnarounds. I mean, they're probably the worst college football team this year.
yeah,
Vanderbilt turning around with 5 wins. So Vanderbilt's on the rise. So Colorado is probably the worst Power Five team in college football. To be 1-11 in probably, in my opinion, one of the easiest conferences out of the Power Five is the Pac-12. Uh, Great, the Big 12 is not as much harder than the Pac-12, but the Pac-12, outside of Oregon and USC in the past, you see Utah stepping up. You see Washington been stepping up. Washington State and then Oregon State of this year, they stepped up. So usually the Pac-12 used to be Oregon, USC, and Stanford. Stanford fell off after Andrew Luck went to the draft.
yep.
As a recent Stanford head coach, the one that coached Andrew Luck in college and Jonathan Taylor in college, he just resigned after
Okay.
what, a 3-9 season. He was there for 10 years. But he stepped down after this year and said, he's 50 years old. I think he's 50 now because he was a young coach in the game at first. But Stanford's been struggling over the last few years, really last 4 years. They've been going worse and worse and worse in the Pac-12. They used to be one of the top premier Pac-12 teams, but
Yep.
now
Yep.
they're at the bottom now. They're down there with the likes of Colorado, and I mean a game between Colorado and Stanford is like a snore fest. But I hope Dion can turn Colorado around because that's a program that's desperately needed some help over there in Boulder. I hope Coach Prime brings the swagger back to Colorado football that they much definitely needed. The basketball team is better than the football team, and they're not even a basketball school.
Exactly.
So I hope Coach Pride goes over and get to work immediately, work on their branding, work on their recruiting, getting a swagger toughness back to Colorado football that they much definitely haven't had since the early 2000s, late 90s. Um, I think Shador going over there is a huge improvement at quarterback. He's probably the best FCS quarterback in Division Two football right now. This man accurate, put up big numbers, a winner. Something Colorado hasn't had a quarterback in a couple years. Don't get me wrong, Colorado did have a little sneaky leak season a couple years ago when they went to the Pac-12 title, but they haven't been the same since. So some teams, have small these schools that's not really relevant like that. Have these little sneaky leak good seasons and they go back to reality next season. That's what
Mhm.
Colorado had about 4 years ago. But if Shadur bring that same success he did at Jackson State into Colorado, then he could definitely be a Heisman candidate. Now he's playing Power Five football,
Definitely.
but he has to go up against Caleb Williams and USC. He has to go against Oregon. He has to go against Utah, Oregon State, Washington State, Washington. So there's some tough teams. Based off this year alone, they have like 6, 7 teams with winning records in their conference.
But don't in the Pac-12 like they're not known for defense, right? And,
No, Pat's what I know. Not known for defense, not necessarily. No, that's the Big 12 that's not known for defense. They put up numbers. We seen TCU numbers on defensively. They
uh,
give up yards. They give up some yards.
he about to
But
go over and help Colorado defense get better though.
he got to. Colorado as a team needs to be better. Matter of
Yeah,
fact, look at Colorado's terrible tape from this year because Colorado is one of the worst statistically teams in college football, offensively and defensively. So we're gonna look at Colorado's football program. Let's start off with what was it? Who they last game? I believe it was against when they got destroyed by Utah, 63-21. That was their last game. So if you look at Colorado right now, let's look at their stats. Let's look at all the games they had this year. Week one, they played TCU. They lost by 25. Then they went on the road and lost at Air Force by 31. They got killed by Minnesota by 42. They got beat by UCLA by 28. They lost to Arizona by 23. The only win came against Cal in overtime at home by 7. They got dismantled by Oregon State by 33. They lost a close one to Arizona State by 8. They lost to Oregon by 39. They lost to USC by 38. They lost to Washington by 47. And they lost to Utah by 42.
By 47 and 42. Wow.
They got outscored by their last two opponents 107 to 28.
Wait, what it was?
107 to 28 the last two games they got scored by.
Mm.
So that's telling you right there, they have a lot of work to do. They have a lot of work to do. I mean, the fact of the matter is you only put up 28 points in two games and get outscored by almost 80.
Hopefully, hopefully Dion he take what's your boy name? Travis Hunter. Hopefully, get him over there.
Travis Hunter will be man, that man will be a stud over there.
Yeah, he would.
But they got a lot of work to do over there in Colorado. I mean, matter of fact, I think almost every game except for like two, they got beat by 3 touchdowns or more. Like,
Yeah.
come on. Well, I don't understand the fact. I don't understand that you're a Power Five program. You should not be getting killed by 4 touchdowns or more
Right.
in consecutive weeks. Like, if you look at it right now, matter of fact, let's go look at their schedule one more time. They first two games, Mike. Colorado, TCU, and Air Force. They lost by 25 and 31 in the first two games.
That's ridiculous, boy.
Then they lost by 32, sorry, 42 the week after. They scored, Mike, they scored 13 against TCU, 10 against Air Force, and 7 against Minnesota. They didn't hit 20 point mark until they lost to Arizona when they scored 20.
That's crazy.
They didn't score over their highest margin points they scored this year was 34. We lost to Arizona State by 8. That's the only game this year they scored over 25 points. Paul
Man,
got a lot of work to do. Paul
yeah.
got a lot of work to do.
But I feel like he gonna get it done. It might not happen his first year. He might start off slow. It depends on who he bring over there from Jackson State. But I say by his second, third year, oh, they're gonna be good. They're gonna be
He
straight.
better bring his whole staff from Jackson State to Colorado because
They're
they
gonna
need
be a
a
top
huge
25
makeover.
team.
You think so?
Oh yeah, not. I'm not gonna say this first year, but by his second or third year, they'll be up there in the top 25.
Because they are tied for dead last in the conference with a 1-8 record in the conference.
Yeah,
By record wise, they're dead last.
that's crazy. Brown trying to get on the. Brown's trying to get up there, bro. I'm telling you,
Look,
Brown trying to get.
if you listen to all the teams that has a winning record in the conference, USC at 11-2, Washington at 10-2, Oregon at 9-3, Utah, the conference champions at 10-3, Oregon State at 9-3, UCLA at 9-3, Washington State at 7-5. That's 7 teams I just named that has a winning record. Who would have thought Oregon State would have 9 wins this year?
Nah,
Who
man.
would have thought UCLA would have had 9 wins this year?
Right.
And who would have thought USC would have lost to Utah last night? The same team the 49ers beat week one is now back-to-back Pac-12 champions. So Coach Pryor has a lot of work to do to turn that program around. If you look at the stats from this season, their leading passer only threw for 1,200 yards.
1,200 yards.
1220. JT Strout threw for 1220. He's a leading passer. 7 touchdowns, 8 picks. Then another
That's it.
quarterback, McCown, he was a backup. He had 600 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. They lead in rusher, 393 yards.
Their offense could do nothing. Their offense could do nothing.
AR had more rushing yards than their whole team combined.
Their offense couldn't move the ball at all. Oh yeah,
They
Brown finna get
Prime
that
to
right.
fix the offense inside the ball immediately.
Yeah,
Because the defense on the field every down because the offense can't move.
yeah.
Listen, they second leading rusher, 315. Third, 274. Fourth, 150. Fifth, 114. They lead a receiver 470 yards.
Nah. I'm sorry. I wouldn't be surprised if they with Prime going to Colorado. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets some of them people out the transfer portal. He might
Oh
get a lot
yeah,
of people out of that transfer portal.
they lead a tackler, a linebacker with 96 total tackles, 3.5 sacks. He also has a pick on the year. So he's like these low. They have another tackler with 79 tackles and another one with 71. That's the top three tacklers.
But see, Prime,
Uh,
I ain't gonna lie, Prime's smart for that though, bro. Because he jumped to Colorado at the right time. Like he see all these big names, or these people that's in this transfer portal too.
listen, bro. Let's listen to their team stats. Like this is atrocious how bad the team is. Total points per game. They average, not allowed, average 15 points per game.
They trash.
15. That's a little over 2 touchdowns a game.
That's trash.
They they score only 185 points on the year. 185.
That's nothing, bro.
Leon High School probably put up more points than Colorado this year.
Proud, doubt it, but
It's debatable. It's debatable.
yeah, they probably did the same amount.
Only 22 total touchdowns.
That's trash, bro. Because their quarterback had what 7 alone, right?
Yes, 7 touchdown passes.
Well,
Yep.
both of their quarterbacks had 9 together.
All the quarterbacks on the roster accounted for 2,000 passing yards.
That's tough. That's horrible.
10 passing touchdowns to 10 picks. All the running backs I just named accumulated for 1,300 rushing yards. Montreal Johnson from UF had over half of that by himself.
By himself.
The offense only netted up 3,000 total yards, 3,375.
That's horrible.
They only averaged 281 yards per game as offense.
Oh no. For 4 quarters, y'all only averaging 200 some yards a game.
Right under 300.
That's ridiculous. That
Uh,
your season horrible.
Third down percentage, 31%.
Mm-mm.
They are 52 for 164 on third down.
Mm-mm.
They only had 190 total first down.
Dang. Well, I mean, for them that sound a little good for them. Because
This
I
is
want to say 190 first downs now.
they have a total of they have a turnover ratio of a negative 11.
Them boys trash.
So you see the tail of the tape. Those guys are pitiful.
Yeah.
To be a Division 1 football team, and you're averaging 15.5 points per game, 1,300 total rushing yards as a team, and 2,000 passing yards as a opposing team.
Man. Jackson
And
State.
you only scored 30 points once this year.
Man, I would like to see FAMU play too.
I would see, but fam, you beat these boys need to be demoted to D2.
Yeah.
Look at me right, 15.5 points per game as a Division 1 school.
Trash.
They're probably the worst. They're probably the worst offense in Power 5 football.
Yeah. I need to go and watch some of their highlights from this year. They even
Whew, Lord have mercy, man. Listen, these guys are trash.
trash.
They make the 2017 World Buckshot Gators look like a national championship team. A team that went 4-7.
Oh yeah, them boys was horrible. That was 2017.
No, sorry, 2014. Sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say 'cause I was still in high school then.
And then he also, man, they don't forget the 2000 what 17 Gators too. They went 4-7.
Mm,
Mike, Coach Park got a lot of work to do.
Not
A
a word.
lot of work. A lot of work.
He gonna get it
But
done. Though. I got
but he's
faith.
the right guy for the job. You want someone that's going to endure a rebuild and go get it done. Coach Prime is the answer. You seen him what he did at Jackson State and how he turned those guys around.
Yeah,
Yeah. Matter of fact, let's go look at Jackson State's offense compared to Colorado's offense. Now, granted, there are two different subdivisions of football,
yeah.
but I mean, come on, man. Let's look at Jackson State, shall we? All right, Jackson State football. Let's go look at their stats. So, off rip, they lead in pass are through for more yards and then some than the whole Colorado quarterback staff. So Shadur Sanders threw the ball for 3,063 yards, 32 touchdowns, and only 6 picks.
They quarterback threw 8, but we going back. I'm going back to Colorado. They quarterback threw 8 interceptions and 7 touchdowns. Right?
Yeah.
Trash.
Oh, guess worse. Shadur Sanders completion percentage 70%.
What he call himself? Two. That's his number. Two.
Yeah,
Two like that. He said two like that. Yeah, two like that.
bruh. 70% completion percentage, 32 TDs, 6 picks, 3,000 yards.
That's crazy, man.
This
Yeah.
man has more passing yards, more passing touchdowns, and less picks than any QB on their roster combined.
They,
Listen, then the running back for Jackson State ran for 1,000 yards. So he almost outran the whole Colorado staff.
oh, Colorado.
The whole Colorado staff had 1,300. Him alone had 1,054. Then the leading receiver has more receiving yards than the leading receiver from Colorado. He has 597. But Shadur don't throw the ball to one person. He spreads the ball around.
Right. And everybody acting.
He has 2 receivers with 500 yards receiving, 3 with 300. Travis Hunter got 13 catches for 142 and 2 touchdowns. The leading touchdown catcher is Hooks with 52 catches for 574 and 8 touchdowns.
I think I watched him play. He was like that.
You look at the team. Look at Jackson State as a team. They average 37 points a game, 409 points, and 54 total touchdowns. They are literally they doubled
Double.
Colorado
I was about to
State,
say
almost triple.
double.
They have a third down percentage
Yeah.
of 42%,
Yeah.
and they have a turnover ratio of plus 16. Because they don't turn the ball over. So Coach Prague got a lot of work to do. Um, the question is, I think Shadur about to sit out a year because of transfer rules, because he's not considered a graduate transfer.
They still do that? We got to sit out and play.
Unless you get a waiver from the NCAA to play right away. The only 2 ways you can do it is if you're a graduate transfer, you can play right away, or if you have a waiver by the NCAA saying you can play right away.
Okay.
Because Shadur's only a sophomore.
Oh, so
Shadur's a sophomore, and his brother, he plays DB, I think. What's his name? Shadur and Shiloh, they're both sophomores. So they do sit out their junior year. They still have 1 year eligibility left.
that's what's up.
So I think Coach Plag will try to get a waiver for them to play right away.
I hope so, because that's what's up.
Because they missed out a whole year of eligibility because their dad's new job. They can't afford to sit out right away. It's already hard enough they came from a group of 5 SCS school and try to make it to the pros, but sitting down 1 year is going to really suck for them.
Yep.
So Hopefully, Coach Pride gets it turned around. We'll love to see Coach Pride bring a national championship to Colorado. If he does it, hopefully bring some conference championships to Colorado. The Colorado faithful are very grateful for Coach Pride, and they're gonna welcome him with open arms. They're probably gonna have like a whole pep rally for this man. He's gonna really change the swagger of Colorado sports up there in Buffalo. So well, that being said, let's talk about some more Pac-12 information. Last night was a Pac-12 championship game between USC and Utah. If USC won that game, they're a shoe-in for the college football playoff. But unfortunately, they got routed 47-24 by Utah. So my question to you is this, Goat B. Now you stated the other night that Bama has a chance of making the college football playoff.
They don't
So
listen to
my,
me.
so my question is this: now that USC has lost, my question is this: do you think Bama can still get in with two losses?
You say who that come?
You think Bama can get in with two losses?
Most definitely. Most definitely.
You'll jump Bama over Ohio State and
Nah, that's my
explain
thing,
why if you
bro.
do that. Now, the only way Bama get in for sure is if TCU lose today to Kansas State.
Nah, see, this is my thing. I'm
Say that again. You broke up.
Ohio State is a good team, and you know Bama defense it hasn't come down to Bama defense this year. It's always been Bama offense. Really is what's
And you know
keeping
what?
them
It's been a
over the
couple of
season.
years just been not Bama defense. It's not the
That's
Bama we
true.
know from the mid 2010s and early part of 2020 that Bama defense hasn't been the superior faction. The
Yeah,
offense used to be like a game manager mode running down your throat type team.
yeah.
Now, I mean, Bama more focused offensively as defensively. And that's not Nick Saban type of football. So, what would you do? You know, if you're the committee, you see TC lose today. If they do lose today, that means you have a one-loss TCU team, a one-loss Ohio State, a two-loss Bama, a two-loss Tennessee, a, and a two-loss USC. Who
I'm
you in a two-loss Penn State? You got Penn State got two losses. Who you gonna put in those two spots?
I, bro. To be real with you, bro, if TCU lose today, I'm gonna put Ohio State and Bama.
Why I say Bama over Tennessee?
You said who?
Over Tennessee?
Over Tennessee. Bro, it's Tennessee offense is what's carrying them too.
I
Tennessee
mean,
ain't,
hold. You said the same thing about Bama defense too. Man, Bama's offense too. Bama
but
defense
Bama.
has been struggling too.
But let's be real, bro. Bama only lost that game to Tennessee because of that field goal, that kicker.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
But my question is this: you will put Bama over Tennessee despite Tennessee being Bama head to head?
I'm gonna still take Bama over Tennessee because I feel like Bama's if they was to replay their game, bro, I feel like Bama would come out on top.
Think so?
I feel like Bama would come out on top, bro. If they was to replay their game, Bama would come out on top.
Okay. Well, we have to wait and see this afternoon, man, because if TCU falls, we got a lot to discuss this evening, bro.
Yeah,
We have what 5 teams fighting for two spots. If TCU lose, they're automatically out. They're not even in debate no more. That means Penn State has a fighting chance. Utah, I mean, you talking about Penn State, USC, Tennessee, Bama, and Ohio State. That's gonna be a two-loss team in there somewhere.
yeah. I'm telling you, it's gonna
Ohio
be
State is
Bama.
gonna be in based on that one loss in Michigan.
It's gonna be
But
Bama.
which two-loss team you gonna put in, Bama or Tennessee?
Bama,
So
Bama,
you'll still put Bama in despite
bro.
Tennessee beating head to head.
Tennessee lost to Texas A&M.
No, that's LSU.
That was LSU. That was LSU. I'm tripping.
LSU not
Wait,
even a competition no more.
yeah,
Tennessee
no.
lost to South Carolina
South
and
Carolina.
Georgia,
South
and
Carolina. Yeah, I
then
see.
but Alabama lost to LSU, who LSU lost to A&M.
Bro, but bro, Bama
Mike,
is
Mike,
not.
come on now, Mike, come on. LSU lost to A&M, and the same LSU team that beat Bama now. Come on now, and Tennessee did beat LSU.
Bro, I'm taking Bama.
I won't take Bama. I'll put Tennessee in if I have to. Just
Tennessee ain't
despite
gonna
this South
survive.
Carolina loss, South Carolina did still beat Clemson. They did beat Clemson the next week. So that's a justifiable loss.
They ain't gonna survive, bro. I'm telling you, they're not gonna
Yes,
survive with them
because you
boys.
look out for the season, they're gonna lose. So you might have to put Bama in to have a better game.
One of your hoes come out here and spray paint my car.
Mm-mm.
My car is fucking spray painted white. Somebody
But
come out.
bro, hey man, it's good talking to you, man. We'll get back to him after the
Hold on,
action
hold on.
tonight. You hear me?
Yeah, well,
It's not.
You head to the house later on tonight.
yeah, I'm be here.
We're gonna be there. You got in the house.
I'm probably gonna be at my house.
All right, then we'll do another video later on tonight at the house, man. I appreciate you being on, man. Talk about Coach Prime's new job out there in the Pacific Northwest of Colorado. Hopefully, we hopefully TCU knocks off gets beat today, so we can have a lot to talk about in our next video tonight. Because I ain't gonna lie, Bama and Tennessee debatable, but I mean Bama did lose to LSU and Tennessee beat LSU, but Tennessee did lose by 30 to South Carolina. So they might go Bama's way because of how bad Tennessee lost.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, man. I appreciate you being on with me, man. If y'all like this video and this video thus so far in the series, or any video I done on this channel, man, hit me up, man. Follow this channel. If you follow my boy Mike B on Instagram, man, put your socials out there, Mike B for the fans, huh?
Underscore the real Mike B on Instagram. That's
And
all.
I'll put his information on the description down below, man. Once again, Mike B, thank you once again for being on the channel. We'll see y'all again later tonight as we give our predictions for the final four teams. And y'all enjoy y'all Saturday, man. Y'all stay blessed.
All right.